He wants to thank you for keeping his clothes. And he tells me that sometimes you wear his shirts.
This is his shirt.
His shirt.
So you have his shirt on right now.
Yes.
That's crazy because he keeps telling me, tell her she doesn't have to wear my clothes. Tell her she doesn't have to wear my clothes. He's also telling me when I'm connecting that there was also a child that passed as well, unfortunately.
Yes. My grandson just passed.
My son. It was my son.
Okay. He's here. Because right away I kept hearing him saying, I'm looking for my mom. I'm looking for my mom. So please know that that soul is here on the other side. And this is crazy because when I'm connecting with your son, he tells me that first of all, he's been trying to reach you in the worst way from the other side. He hears you talking to him. He tells me you've been talking to him all day, every day. And he's also pointing to your necklace. Are you wearing him right now?
Yes, it's him. His ashes are in here.
He just said that because he goes to me, Matt, he goes, you can't see that necklace. He goes, but I'm in there. I'm in there, he's telling me. So know that it's his way of validating to you that when you wear him around your neck every day, his soul is right there. He actually wants to thank you for everything that you did for him before his passing here in this world. He says, because Matt, my mom wasn't just my mother, she was my best friend. And he tells me this. Like he was just young when he had passed here in the physical world.
Yes.
Because he's bringing through his passing, and he's also showing me, was he just celebrating a birthday or was it just his birthday?
We just had his angelversary.
Oh.
August 17th was the 1 year since he passed away.
And you were thinking about how old he would be or what he'd be doing right now?
Yes, and I'm actually planning his upcoming birthday with the family. He would have been 18 in January.
All right, this is what I need to talk about because he keeps saying to me, let her know I know about the birthday. Let her know I know about the birthday. So know that as you're planning that right now, right? It's his way of letting you know that he's there. You're going to know that when your loved ones come through, they don't come through and say, oh, hi, Matt, how are you? What's going on? I'll see different visions. And then when I'm connecting with your son, he just showed me this group of people all around and celebrating his birthday, letting you know that when you plan that day and you're going to go and have everyone there that loved him and cared about him, he is there and with you. Because he's acknowledging that. But what's tough is he tells me that you feel like you did not get answers on how your son had died here in this world.
Yes.
He tells me that there's so much that you keep going back to because he keeps showing me about you going and replaying everything that happened with your son and trying to figure out what had taken place. And first of all, this is what I'm not understanding. Your son is telling me that you're having survivor's guilt here in this world. So when I hear that, were you supposed to be with him the day that he died?
He was supposed to be with me, and I didn't. I always let him do what he wanted to do, and it was his choice, and he wanted to go with his dad that night, even though he should have been with me.
Okay. And this is why it's really important, because he says to me, Matt, you keep going back and saying, I should have had him with me. He should have been with me. I should have been with him. So first of all, I have to tell you something. And I know this is really hard reading to do because he's telling me everything. Can I tell you everything? Because your son says to me, Matt, I was not an innocent angel here in this world, he tells me.
Nope.
He says, Matt, he goes, I used to push the button every chance I got. And I see your son smoking the silly smoke on the other side when I'm connected with him. And he says to me, Matt, he goes, I'm going to tell you something. My mother was like a private detective. He says, she used to see what I was doing, what was going on. She always knew when I was lying to her. And he tells me that a lot of times he used to go and do the bad stuff when he was with his dad because his dad didn't have the same eye on him that you did. But he says to me this. He says, Matt, I don't want my mom for 1 minute to go back and to question anything about my passing or to think that it's her fault. Your son says to me that when he was here, he was a daredevil. He never, ever, ever had fear. That was his downfall when he was here. He shows me that he tried anything, he did anything. And it's funny because you were like the disciplinarian. When your son did something wrong, you were the one that always was there to punish him. Do you understand that?
Yeah, you were.
Because it's funny, I see that there was so many things that like your son is showing me, like he tried to hide from you, where he would go and like literally call his dad when shit used to go down because he was afraid of like you finding out.
Yes.
He says to me, Matt, please let my mom know one thing. He says, I made a stupid decision. That's what he's telling me. He says, and the one thing that he needs you to know is this. He says, on the other side, he says, every single day, I am there and with you. He actually just says to me that he wants to thank you for keeping his clothes. And he tells me that sometimes you wear his shirts.
This is his shirt.
His shirt.
So you have his shirt on right now.
Yes.
That's crazy because he keeps telling me, tell her she doesn't have to wear my clothes. Tell her she doesn't have to wear my clothes. So when you wore that today, know it's his way of acknowledging that and letting you know that he knows that you have that on. But he also tells me this. He says, Matt, the one thing that I want to tell my mom is that I have to take responsibility for my passing here in this world. And that's what's so tough, because he says to me, Matt, he says, if there's one thing my mom needs to know is this: I knew what I was doing. So know that he's telling you this for one reason. I know that there was questions over who he was with or who he had talked to or what had happened or any of these things. I keep saying he keeps showing me visions of you going back through his phone and trying to figure out certain things. He tells me when I'm connecting with him, tell my mom that at the end of the day, I'm at peace. That's what she needs to know. And your son tells me that the one thing that I wanted to do here in this world, Matt, was make my mom proud. And what he's so happy about is that even though he made certain mistakes within his life, he tells me about how proud you are of him every single day. And you're proud of the goofy person that he was, the goofy kid that he was. He tells me that you're always talking about different jokes and you have like all these videos.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him, the Fraser.
All these videos that you kept of him like doing goofy things and funny things.
Yep.
And he says to me, that's how I want you to remember me. So he says, know that I'm okay. Know that I'm at peace and my soul is there and with you. And hold on one second. Sorry, your son will not stop talking. He's also talking about you being in another relationship.
Yes.
So you're in another relationship right now?
Yes.
Okay. So please know that your son just said to me, Matt, please tell my mom that it's okay for her to embrace that relationship and embrace that love, because he tells me that right now it's so hard. And I'm going to tell you that the person that you're with truly does love you, and your son wants you to know that, because this is something that's going to make me cry. You know, sometimes you don't think your loved ones are paying attention. Like, you would never expect your son to say this. And what I'm going to say is really going to blow your mind right now, because it's blowing my mind. He said to me, Matt, my mom didn't really think I was paying attention. He says, but she was about to give up on love, he tells me. And your son is telling me that for years he watched you struggle after what happened with his dad, and about you not wanting to be in a relationship, you not wanting to be with somebody, you not wanting to love again, you not wanting to open up your heart. And do you know that your son never told you this, but told other people, I really hope my mom finds somebody. I really hope my mom finds somebody to love her, to care for her, to be there for her. And your son in heaven is telling me you found that person. So are the two of you married here in this world?
No, but we've had recent talks about it happening in the not so distant future.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not supposed to play with free will, but I'm going to tell you this. Your son is telling me that that man that you're with wants to marry you, because I see a wedding ring here. And
you won't believe
I
this.
have to tell you something.
She has to tell you something that just happened.
We just went together and picked out a ring, and it's sitting on my dresser at home. And he is going to keep it until he feels the time is right to propose.
Your son tells me. Your son just said to me this. He says, Matt, tell my mom right now that she's sending him mixed signals. I know you have to heal from me, and you are fearful of getting married without your son being there at that wedding.
Yep. And my boyfriend says he feels bad because he never got to ask Jay if it was okay.
He's got your permission, but your son never needed it. Your son tells me, enjoy your life. He will be there on that day. He knows about that ring. So listen, I'm not telling you to say yes or say no, okay? I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you this. Your son says, whatever your decision is, don't hold back because of him, because this is something that he's wanted for you for so long. So I know that your son is coming through right now because you're about to make that decision, whether it be now, a year from now, 5 years from now. And your son wants to let you know that it's okay. Don't feel guilty. He is there. And your son will be giving you a beautiful sign to validate that to you.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to leave you with that.